Welcome to another edition of the Houston Roundball Review presents Folks Talking Sports. I'm one of the three co-hosts, Kris Gardner of the Houston Roundball Review. Joining me right now is number two of the three, and Yanez from the Community Impact newspaper and Pawd Slama Jama. Willy Gibson won't be able to join us this evening. He's got prior commitments. James Mueller, one of our regulars, won't be able to join us. He had something pop up pretty much at the last minute. Hopefully, Tamer Knight will be able to pop in when she can. She's got things going on as well, but I spoke to her yesterday. She said she'd try to join us also. So for the time being, Andy, it's me and you. How you doing, man?
Doing great, Kris. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well. Since it's you and me, we don't have to talk too much about the Ohio State Buckeyes football team or anything like that. U of H football masked on Grambling as expected. U of H plays Navy. What do you know about this point spread for the Cougs Navy game?
Yeah, let me look that up real quick. I know that Houston is favored by a lot.
And they should be, because I think, has Navy won a game this year?
They have not. They're 0-2, and they've only scored 10 points combined in those two games.
So, yeah, this is another gimme game on the schedule for the Hogerson football team. Get a chance to go to 3-1, have a 3-game winning streak for the first time under the Dana Hogerson era.
It would be the first time since 2018 if they can win 3 in a row.
So, I'm not sure what that really proves, but you play who's on your schedule. So that's the first thing. Let's get that out of the way. Does not mean U of H football is a great football team, but this is the schedule that was put before the team. It's better that they win these games rather than lose them. So 3-1 is better than 1-3 or 0-4. Game is 6 p.m. kickoff at TDECU Stadium Saturday evening. It's on ESPNU, I believe. I think that's right.
Yeah, it is, and Houston is favored by 19 points.
19 points.
According to Sportsline.
Nostradamus, and this is one of the bad things about Will not being here. I think he's avoiding, dealing with your betting point spread acumen. Didn't want to challenge you again. 19 points. Do you think the Cougs will cover that?
I do. Well, I'm pretty sure they will, just in terms of how other defense has played and how really they've been able to shut down these past two offenses. And albeit it was against Rice and Grambling, but we're just hearing the defensive coordinator Doug Belk talk from his weekly availabilities and some of the defensive players too. They've all kind of adopted the word they're using to describe their defense that both Doug Belk and players touched on was ruthless. That they like to control the pace and trying to be more physical than their opponents and try to control the tempo. And with the way that Navy has struggled, I think it's going to be another night where really Houston probably doesn't have too much to worry about having to put up points. But the triple read option offense is always a little bit complicated, so you never know what you can expect. It could be a lapse in moments, and it could end up being a big jump play. But the reason I kind of hesitate just in terms of with Clayton Tune, who's apparently it looked like against Rice that he injured his hamstring on that giant scramble. Both James and I mentioned it. Dan Hogerson never said anything, confirmed that it was a hamstring until they played Grambling, when you could tell that something was off with Tune. I mean, the offense couldn't move anything against Grambling. He threw an interception early, and then he got rattled on the next drive where they took him out of the game. He didn't play for most of it, and Bogu came in, and I wouldn't say it was a complete night and day difference. He did some good things. Again, it was against Grambling, but he showed some promise. So it's still questionable to see which of the two ends up starting tomorrow against Navy. I believe Hogerson said that Tune had practice on Sunday. So, and they basically go on from however he's able to practice during the week. But on Saturday after Grambling, Hogerson said it was a hamstring injury, but it's just interesting to see how that goes.
And just read some notes courtesy of UHCougars.com about the game, because I think last week against Grambling, attendance was announced at 22,000 plus. Okay, I mean,
real low for their usual standard. Even that.
You know, it is, and the opponent, because of everything Grambling fans are dealing with in Louisiana, that might have something to do with it. Poor marketing has another part to do with it. But U of H alums, fans, one thing about going to the Big 12, going to a power conference, a big boy conference, fan attendance in football, y'all got to do better. We got to do better. Y'all need to support this team. You know, win or lose, especially games that are in the evening or at night. You know, 2:30 in the afternoon and the heat and humidity in H-Town, I can understand that. But 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, I don't. If you're a football fan,
this weekend.
Yeah, if you're a football and it's part of U of H is going to honor Vinnie Robbins and his family. The Cougars will wear special team impact T-shirts during Cougar Walk. Houston Athletics will also hold a special tribute in the game for Vinnie and his family. Get the timeline for the game. Fire sale opens at Schroeder Gate 1, 10 o'clock in the morning. Ticket office, cash parking lots, kid zone, beer garden, and tailgating opens at 2 p.m. The Cougar Walk begins at 3:45 p.m. TD-ECU Stadium opens at 4:30 p.m. and kickoff versus Navy is scheduled for 6:02 p.m. Here's something I didn't know, Andy. It's a stat. Houston has scored in 259 consecutive games. That ranks 9th longest among active streaks in FBS. That's kind of impressive. That means y'all been shut out going on 21 years. The streak began September 30th, 2000.
Damn.
So yeah, that's it's a, you know, an interesting stat. There's been a lot of losses in that time too, but still, it's a stat. And once again, it's going to be the game will be shown on TV, ESPNU, but fans, Andy and I, you know, we're alums. Go to the game. Humidity shouldn't be too bad Saturday. It's starting to creep up, you know, as opposed to today and yesterday we have really low humidity in H-Town. I'm giving weather reports now. But humidity should be more humid on Sunday than Saturday. So it shouldn't be too bad. 6 o'clock kickoff. Go to the game. Go support U of H football.
Conference game opener.
Amen there. Conference game opener. The American Athletic Conference. I'm not going to show a picture of it, but I just want your thoughts once again on U of H. Apparently, I wonder if they're going to do this now that conference play has begun with pictures, banners of just U of H and not U of H and the American logo, rather than U of H and the Big 12 logo, as we've seen in the last week or two. What do you think about that?
No, man, I think I mentioned it to you with U of H. They're handling this. If you term it in a relationship pattern, they're ready to move on and on to the Big 12. I mean, something they showed on the Jumbotron against Grambling was, you know, actually they recognized Renu Couture, Tillman Fertitta, and Chris Pezman on the field, and then they showed the UH Big 12 logo on the Jumbotron. And obviously, of course, that's probably the biggest pop of the night for during that game. But I don't know. It's interesting. And when you look at where they had post-game conferences with players and Dana Holgerson, that's just UH. And I think they have their sponsor. I'm not sure if it was Memorial Hermann or something like that. But there's nothing on the American Athletic Conference there. During the weekly Dana Holgerson pressers that he holds inside of Fertitta Center, the first week before the Big 12 announcement, they had UH and the ESPN Plus with the American Athletic Conference logo. Since then, it's just become the UH logo. So I think UH is really, really looking forward to the Big 12, and they want to get there as fast as possible. And they don't really care about if they could, they would scratch the American Athletic Conference logo from the field if they could.
And, you know, I think that's bold. I haven't seen, you know, I don't spend as much time following Cincinnati, UCF, and BYU. I have noticed if they're taking a similar approach with their backdrops and press conferences and logos, things like that, and just starting to begin featuring the Big 12 and not featuring the American logos. Something to look for. I'm not sure what it means. I mean, because BYU, their buyout, I think, is $1 million to lead the West Coast Conference. And so they are expected to be members of the Big 12 July 1st, 2022. I think everybody expects that. Then it's just a question of if anybody else is going to pay the extra millions to go to the American to join the Big 12 sooner than the projected fall of 2023. Time will tell. You know, I'm not sure what if we should read anything into U of H not having the American in logos, in backdrops at press conferences, things like that. I don't know if that means that they really are making a push to leave the American after this season. I have not heard anything, you know, nothing will be on the record, but I have not heard anything off record just yet either. But, you know, makes you wonder. I kind of do wonder if this could be the Houston's last year in the American, and this time next year, you and I will be discussing the Houston Cougars football team in Big 12 matchups.
Who knows? If they could, they'll probably figure out a way to do it. And I think it's one interesting note that I believe it was GoCougs.com. They posted today that they had requested, I'm assuming they probably did a FOIA request to try to get that, I guess, the official agreement that UH had with the Big 12 and being able to join the conference. And apparently UH said that due to third party, or let me see if I can get that correctly so I can get the right wording, but essentially UH didn't send it to them, or they sent it to get like a decision from the Attorney General because of how'd they phrase it? They phrase it due to third-party contracts. They said there's an issue releasing the documents because third-party propriety interests have been implicated by this request. The university has declined to release the information. So I think that's a little interesting that they don't want to release the details, or at least trying to delay the details when it's something that you would assume they'd be happy to get all the details. And I think earlier today as well, or earlier this week, they sent the official request that UH sent to the Big 12, and I guess that was the official request to join them. And UH had put an agreement where for the 2 weeks that they would send it, they were not going to be in contact with any other conference. I thought that was funny. But yeah, I was a little surprised that they're kind of at least trying to delay to have the actual agreement with the Big 12 from being released into public information.
It's interesting. We're just going to sit back and watch as we are here discussing U of H football. Let's get into some NBA basketball. ESPN this week released its top 100 players for the projections for this 2021-22 season. Where do you think we're gonna basically do the back end and the front end, top 5, top 10? Where do you think Jalen Green is ranked in the top 100?
I think I caught a glimpse of it. I believe he's somewhere in the 90s, correct?
96.
Yeah.
Yep, 96. And I'll read it to you because I wasn't surprised that he was ranked. One thing to watch, given his immense talent and opportunity on a young Rockets team, expect Jalen Green to lead all rookies in scoring and make a strong case for Rookie of the Year, similarly to Anthony Edwards a season ago. Keep an eye on how quickly the explosive 6'6" guard is able to impact winning on both ends, along with his efficiency. Circle November 10th on your calendar, as Green and the Rockets will go head-to-head with #1 overall pick Cade Cunningham and the Pistons. Green has long considered himself the top prospect in his age group, and this matchup gives him another chance to make his case that he's the best rookie in the NBA. That info was from Mike Schmitz with ESPN. Okay, since you saw that, you had a glimpse of Jalen Green in the 90s. Do you know where Cade Cunningham is ranked?
I think he was 76.
Correct. You are correct.
Yeah.
That's that young mind, that good memory right there. Yeah.
That's like the only reason I saw it is because there were people on Rockets Twitter
I'm
complaining.
sure. Rockets Twitter was hot and just probably pissed off at how dare ESPN do this and bash Jalen Green and blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. I'm sure. I don't doubt that whatsoever. But what they write up about Cade Cunningham, and this is Mike Schmitz as well, how will Detroit use him? Cunningham's versatility, on-court maturity, and skill level make him a favorite for Rookie of the Year, along with his ability to add value from beyond the arc, 50% in Summer League, and make the right reads offensively. It's worth watching just how long the Pistons will try to pair him with last year's top 10 pick, Killian Hayes. Cunningham is far more effective when he's finishing the majority of possessions with a pick and roll or isolation, as opposed to standing in the corner like he was at times during the Las Vegas Summer League. Okay, that summary does not really distinguish a 20 rank difference between Cade and Jalen Green. In full disclosure for folks tuning in, Brandon Thomas, thanks for joining. Brandon Thomas, you're dedicated to this channel, man. I appreciate it, man. He missed my Rocket Talk last night. He felt bummed about it because of work. And he asked me what his when the next live stream was going to be. I thought he was talking about Rockets. So I said next week. I wasn't referring. I didn't even mention the folks talking sports one. So thanks for joining. But, you know, I've been, and Andy, how old are you again, Andy? 20 what?
21.
21. I've been a Detroit Pistons fan 21 plus 9, going on 30 years. Oh, no, 35 years. 35 years. So, yeah, since I was 14. So I've seen the Pistons play, and Cade Cunningham and Killian Hayes, their backcourt will be kind of interesting to see how Coach Casey plays the two of them. Killian Hayes got a limited turnovers. He makes some really awful decisions with the basketball. Just stupid passes, throwing balls just all over the place. He jumps in the air way too much to pass the ball. But what Mike Schmitz said about Cade, what Mike said about Jalen Green, 96, 76, I mean, it's not that much of a difference, man. My goodness, man. I mean, okay. And November 10th, that matchup between the Rockets and Pistons is going to be on ESPN. I think it's the only ESPN matchup for both teams, I think, which says a lot for both teams where they are in the national landscape right now. But, whatever. I mean, Cade, I think, is more of a facilitator. He'll have the ball in his hand some. I think Jalen Green will have it. He'll be shooting and scoring more and getting the ball from Kevin Porter Jr. But, I'm not that big a deal. Whatever. And you know me, I'm not big on rankings, man. So I read them off. They make good conversation, but, you give your input on why you rank so-and-so there. Okay. I can disagree with it or agree, whatever. Especially
rankings before the season.
Yeah. Last night, let me ask you this. Talked about this last night. How many, Andy Yanez, Community Impact Newspaper, how many double-doubles do you project for Rockets big man Christian Wood?
Ooh.
82 games.
Assuming he plays all 82, I'd probably go somewhere in the range between 25 and 30.
Well, that's real low, Andy. I mean, he averaged 21 and 9.5 last year.
Yeah. It probably is on the low end, but I'll stick to it. I'll go 30, around 30.
Okay. The range from responders last night was 50 to, on the high end, 65.
It's doable, especially if you average 21 and 9. But
so, and let me be clear with Andy. Okay, double doubles. That's what I said. Double doubles. Okay, so you said you think Christian would get about 30 double doubles. So that's at minimum 10 and 10.
Correct.
Okay, you're gonna stick with 30.
Yeah, I know it's probably on the low end, but yeah, I'm gonna stick with it just in terms of.
Okay. Seawood is ranked in ESPN rankings, I think 60.
Wow.
John Wall, ironically, I think John Wall was like 91, something like that. Around there, maybe 80. Let me see. I'll put it up real quick. He was 85. John Wall ranked 85, and he won't play a game in a Rocket uniform ever again. So, but yeah, the Pistons had, I see, Kay Cunningham was ranked at 76. Jeremy Grant was ranked 60 something. 53. Oh, better than I thought. 53. So that's two of Detroit's building blocks. But with the Rockets, Jalen Green at 96, John Wall at 85, Christian Wood at 60. So, both young teams, rebuilding teams, well, in Detroit's case, restoration, have building blocks, people in place. I think the future is bright for both teams. But now let's go to the top end. What are you going to say? You got something you want to say?
No, I was just going to say, so that means that Kevin Porter Jr. wasn't ranked in the top 100?
I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think I saw Scoot in there. No, only mention of him is in the summaries for Christian Wood, and in the summaries for Christian Wood, John Wall, and Jalen Green. That's it. He was not ranked in the top 100.
That's interesting.
Let's go to the other end, the top 5. Let's break it down. Have you seen the whole thing?
I have not. I haven't seen the
so
top.
So you just saw Rockets Twitter, what they put out there for debate and get them all fired up. You saw that, huh?
Yeah, I saw that. I haven't seen the top.
Okay. I'll start at 10. And we'll go 10 to 6 and give me your thoughts on that, and then 5 to 1. Number 10, James Harden.
Ooh.
Number 9, Anthony Davis. 8, Dame. 7, Joel Embiid. And 6, the Joker, Nikola Jokic.
Wow, I guess that's kind of. Would you say it's bold to put Damian Lillard over Harden? I would,
yes, but
yeah. I guess are they factoring into all his injuries and not will step back, or is this supposed to be what they expect?
Let me read what they said about Dame. The 6-time All-Star has made his frustration toward the Trailblazers' lack of playoff success widely known, but has held back from asking or demanding a trade this offseason. His recent posts on social media and reports out of Portland suggest he'll give new head coach Chauncey Billups and president of basketball operations Neil O'Shea a chance to prove they can get the team back into the upper echelon of the Western Conference. The question is, how long will Lillard's patience last? And that's from Ramona Shelburne. And see, we have different writers doing, parts of the rankings. They probably emphasize different things. Ramona didn't even mention Dame's skill set, stats, and numbers. Yeah. Whereas Tim McMahon, talking about Harden, an argument can be made for Harden as one of the best scorers in history. His career true shooting percentage, 61.1, ranks 5th among the NBA's 50 all-time leading scorers. But his elite passing ability is even more valuable to the Nets. Harden has averaged 9.1 assists per game since former Rocket head coach Mike D'Antoni made him a full-time point guard 5 seasons ago, including 10.9 in his partial season with the Nets. Harden can prioritize playmaking when playing with fellow Hall of Fame level scorers Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant. Injuries limited that trio to 202 minutes together in the regular season when they scored 119.6 minutes per 100 possessions. That doesn't seem unsustainable, particularly considering Brooklyn's Big Three lineups produced a 135.4 offensive rating in 130 playoff minutes. So different focuses for two different writers about Dame and Harden. Harden 10, AD 9, Dame 8, Joel Embiid 7, Joker 6. You got a problem with any other parts of that?
Honestly, I think Jokic, I got to see who their top 5 is, but I think Jokic might be a little low. He got snubbed out of the top 5. I'm assuming it'll be Durant, LeBron, And then why?
One is obvious. Come on now. One is obvious. You're forgetting about him. He's obvious.
Oh, Yanez.
Okay.
Yanez, correct. That's 3. So those are 3 guaranteed. And
no Kawhi, no Jamal Murray because of injuries. Expected to miss the whole year.
I'm blanking. Yeah, I feel like Jokic just give me the top 5.
Okay, here we go. And you're going to kick yourself, maybe. At number 5, Steph Curry.
Yeah, Curry. I forgot about Curry because the Warriors haven't been that relevant.
Number 4, Luka.
Wow.
Number 3, LeBron. Number 2, Yanez. Number 1, KD.
Wow. Luka at 4. That's high praise. No, he just skipped over James Harden. He skipped over Dame. And I don't know. I feel like so this is our predictions based off what kind of they're ranking them, what they project they'll be this upcoming season.
Yeah, basically they kind of did. The rationale was head to head, like if they played 1-on-1, who'd be better? Because it really wasn't a lot of details about a breakdown. We asked our expert panel to vote on pairs of players: Kevin Durant versus James Harden, Luka versus Zion, Steph versus Yanez, on and on. We asked which player will be better in 21-22 season. Voters had to predict what they expected from each player during the season. So that's their rationale.
Man, if that's the case, then they really put Harden low at 10. I don't know. I feel like everyone's crowning Luka, which, I mean, not to take anything away, he's gonna be. He'll probably win at least one MVP, if not multiple, like as his career progresses. But to put him over Curry immediately, and then 6 spots over Harden, 4 over Dame, that's high. I don't know if I'll put him that high. I feel like top 4, that's pretty high. And they had Durant number 1.
Yep.
Over Yanez. And so they had LeBron at 3.
Yes, sir.
Wow. That actually I could see that where you see another age factor. So you see LeBron kind of slipping a little bit.
That's really the rationale. That they had another article from the panel suggesting, commenting on why LeBron at 3. And the justification basically was LeBron is going into his 19th season. And, Father Time is undefeated. So that has limited. And plus, some injuries to LeBron. All that. They put a lot of emphasis on KD's playoff performance in Olympics. Where
they counted the Olympics.
They counted the Olympics as well, and KD carried the team to gold. Yes.
Mm-hmm. He almost carried Brooklyn.
And they talked about that. KD and the long shot that, could almost was a 3, but wasn't. I understand it. And, I mean, star players, elite players will use anything for motivation. You need any outside factor for motivation. LeBron's already, tweeted and discussed people mocking the Lakers, being too old and all those things, whatever. And there's some, they're, like I said, I maintain a lot. They're veteran as long as they're winning. They start losing, then they're old. Right. So, but Yanez, LeBron's game is more complete, most complete of the 3 of them, offense and defense. I think KD is a better scorer than the 3 of them, better shooter from the outside. I think because of KD's teammates, wherever he's been, he has not had a chance or had really needed to showcase his complete toolkit. I think he's a better passer than the stats show. I think he's a better defender. When KD wants to lock you down, he can do it. he doesn't do it
Sure.
a lot. LeBron has had to do that a lot previous years. The older he's gotten, he hasn't always taken on the opposing team's best player like he did, younger years. Giannis is not a great shooter, perimeter shooter, not a great free throw shooter, except game 6 when he made 17 or 19, shocking all of us that he did that. But I can see it a little bit, but KD, and they're praising KD for his performance 2 years after the torn Achilles. Okay, but I mean, he's had injuries as well, So, like I said, I mean, we can discuss and debate it all day long. They ranked Klay Thompson 35. Klay hasn't played in 2 years.
Yeah.
I mean,
got a lot to prove.
Yeah, I got a lot
You have to get on the court.
Get on the court, stay healthy. But they got him at 35. Oh, okay. I think Zion was like in the 20s. And the summary for him was he has yet to average 1 block and 1 steal per game. Andy, come on, man. Defense, you got to do something on the other end of the floor, too, if you're going to be an elite player for me.
Especially with his athleticism.
Yes. Be a force on defense, too. Let me plug this. You're part of the Houston Roundball Review. Got to plug this. Got to do my little business angle. I've got 2 features, Super Chat and Super Sticker on this YouTube channel. If you want to support our channel, consider sending a Super Chat or a Super Sticker. Once purchased, it will appear right in the chat stream and remain pinned at the top of the stream for a period of time based on the amount of purchase. And of course, if you do that, I obviously will give you a shout out and thank you for your support. But this is all part of helping us with content, money. This business too, folks. This is real talk. The money will help us continue producing these shows, make these live streams happen. That's all part of this. Houston Roundball Review presents Folks Talking Sports, September 24th. Next Friday, Andy, you thought about it? Next Friday, October 1st, man.
Yeah.
College basketball practice starts next week. It's here, man.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna ask. I know the colleges, I guess they officially start. I mean, they've been working out since honestly probably for much of the summer. But I was gonna ask, when does NBA training camp start?
Media days Monday, training camps Tuesday.
Also, it's right into it already quickly because the Rockets play. Their first preseason game is on
the 5th, October 5th. Yeah, they'll be in training camp. I'll be at media day Monday. I got the approval for that email about 2 hours ago. You're asked to show proof of vaccination. Did that as well. If you don't, you can attend. It'd be a Zoom call if you don't have proof of vaccination. And then Tuesday, the 28th through October 2nd, Saturday, they'll be in Galveston for training camp. I won't be there for that. So they're going back to Galveston for that. I'll be in H-Town for college practices. U of H women, their first practice will be the 28th. Well, no. It could have been the 28th, but it's going to be the 29th. I think U of H men will start October 1st. I haven't heard about the other local area colleges, but I reached out to Rice, and they have not finalized when they're going to start practice. But it's time now, man. Basketball season, college and pro, is here. And I'm looking forward to that. And you will see content on the Houston Roundball Review channel. Andy and Dayon will talk U of H athletics on Pawd, Slama, Jama. So tune in. You got 2 sources to get your information, get your fix of U of H athletics. But I think even Andy, you've noticed that the Houston Roundball Review channel, Rocket fans come here, man. Brandon Thomas is a Rocket fan. Rocket fans really appreciate them for their support. They love this channel. U of H fans, where y'all at? Need more y'all to come to the channel. Especially, Andy, U of H men's basketball videos, press conferences, we still wonder why they're not on the U.S. Athletics YouTube channel. It's football all the time, so.
Even then, football's been kind of limited this season too.
Yeah, so basketball.
They're doing the ESPN Plus.
So U of H basketball, the Houston Roundball Review YouTube channel is really a spot for U of H men's basketball press conferences to be here. Is this channel? So I'm an alum. Support fellow alums. This is a spot to do it. Houston Roundball Review. We do good work too. Starting in November, we're going to have a sponsor for Folks Talking Sports that will last throughout college basketball season. Look forward to that. But we got, 4 or 5 more weeks. If somebody wants to sponsor these upcoming weeks, feel free. We're going to start we got the option to do live reads during Folks Talking Sports. So there are ways for you to sponsor the show, sponsor segments of the show, to promote your company, but also support Folks Talking Sports. So we do have that capability to do that because, as I told Andy and the crew last Friday, I'm learning how to produce behind the scenes with the camera angles and stuff to go solo. So if Andy has a live read to do, he can take up the full screen to do the live read, and I can do that as well. So we're going to do those things, and that's part of this. The live stream, I'm finally learning how to adapt my old mind to young technology. It took me a while, but I'm doing that. I got this youngster right here, Andy Yanez, helping me out on the Twitter side at our Folks Talk Sports Twitter account, producing the tweets from our shows as only he can in a timely manner. So he's a big part of what we're doing. Last Friday's Terrence Arsenault focused show was our most popular Folks Talking Sports episode to date. Hey, let's keep doing that going forward. There's nothing wrong with that. We enjoy what we do. We enjoy providing you with content, our perspective, and have fun while we do it. So Brandon Thomas, appreciate you tuning in for us. And let me see. Brandon, if you got any questions, because I do, Andy, I want to mention this as well to you. Brandon said at least 50 double-doubles for Seawood.
I saw that.
At least 50. So we'll see. Like I said, the range last night was 50 to 65. If he hits 65, he's all NBA. But I think, and I'll get your thoughts on this, to be all NBA, to be an all-star even, make an all-star team, do you think Seawood could be hurt if the Rockets don't win a lot of games?
In the West, for sure. Especially if the Rockets have another down year where they're at the bottom of the Western Conference. That'll certainly hurt him when you look at just the bigs he has to compete with. You got the top two in Jokic and Karl Anthony Towns, and then it'll probably be a lot of wings like it always is, which just you could end up listing all of them and then the guard heavy conference that it is too. If we're talking all-star game, if they're at the bottom, for sure it'll hurt them. Even doesn't matter what kind of stats he's putting up. If they go on long extended losing streaks, I'm talking like 10 plus losing streaks like they did last season.
Jokic is the best big man. What would you call him? He's a center, but he's a versatile center, passing and all those things. But if we got a label, Jokic is a center. What position would you label AD?
He's probably. I'd probably put him. I'd go with center just in terms of, I guess the more he, and it's hard because he likes to play more front of the basket. He doesn't really back down much. He kind of likes to create his own shot, and obviously he can dribble and just shoot over people and pull up. But I'd probably label him as a center, especially in terms of defense. He tends to play a lot more in the paint and not chase out players, but he's kind of honestly, he's in a category of his own with just how versatile he is.
And I ask you, you can see the question from Brandon. is Seawood worth staying long term for the Rockets? Because I think this is year 2 of his 3-year deal he signed? I think it was 3-year deal.
Yeah, I believe so too.
So do you think, is he worth long term? Because there have been rumblings, I've seen it this summer, that possibly he could be a trade asset next summer, to look in a different direction and get something better in return to help the Rockets' long-term future.
I'm guessing he's assuming beyond this contract and kind of say they choose to extend him.
Yeah. Do you think the Rockets should give Seawood a contract extension, which would be a lot of money?
I think it depends what you see from production out of him in these next 2 seasons, especially if you see him growing incrementally from season to season. I think one thing we both kind of observed, and Kris, you probably watched him a lot more than I did this past season, just in terms of his defense and kind of the lack of physicality that Christian Wood would have on times. Like whenever he was playing against the top, not even the top centers in the league, but just any big man that's physical, he kind of tended to get eaten up in the post a lot. I think if you see improvements with that, he kind of, I wouldn't say caps off to the ceiling, but keeps adding layers. Like James Harden, when he was here, he always added something in the offseason. If you see that, and for sure. Now, if he kind of levels off and remains at the same player that he's been since, he was really good last year, but if he just stays at that level, I wouldn't necessarily give him a max contract, especially when you're focusing on your main core. I'd imagine would be KPJ, Jalen Green, and whatever else comes in the coming years. I would tend to focus more on that if Christian Wood doesn't show much improvement in the next 2 seasons.
Yeah, I think, and Brandon, we'll get to that question about playing in just a second. I think Seawood's physical frame, he doesn't look like the type that will be able to gain weight and keep it and be productive at a heavier weight. He needs to get stronger, clearly, but I don't believe he'll ever be a 6'10", 260 big man kind of thing, and he does have problems banging against bigger bodies. That's why I think defensively he's better matched up against power forwards, and yet Daniel Tice go against the fives, and ultimately Usman Garuba and Alperen Sengun to go to defend the fives. I think that's more of Seawood's future. I think he's a 5 on offense and a 4 on defense. I think that's his better fit. That's how I look at it. Coach Silas disagrees. He thinks Tristan is a 5, period. but I don't see that. Disagree on that. Ask you again, Andy. We've talked about this before a little bit. Do you think the Rockets will make the play-in, be a 9-10 seed this year?
Before I saw the schedule, I thought they had an outside shot at making a run. Then we went over the schedule, and I think I capped it. I think I had them at around like 32 wins.
31.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't think that'd be enough to make the play-in. But honestly, I think for them to have a shot to at least make the play-in and make some type of noise, obviously they need to see. First of all, they need to have Christian Wood healthy for most of the season, if not all of it. But then they have to see jumps from their returning players like Kevin Porter Jr. Kenyon Martin kind of had. Honestly, in the summer league, he didn't really have I guess what you would expect or you want to see from one of your young guys, where he takes you can tell that he's on the court and he's by far better now. It is summer league, so you take it with a grain of salt. If he can take another step, and obviously the main player who be Jalen Green, and see how quickly he adapts to the NBA game, and if he's able to do what he showed in flashes in the summer league and just effortlessly score at a consistent level and not go on. I'd imagine at some point in the season he'll go on a streak where he's kind of struggling to find a basket, but to kind of show that he can get to the basket, play make a little bit. I think that'll really determine how competitive the Rockets are. I think it's kind of into their backcourt, their young backcourt, in KPJ and Jalen Green, and how healthy Wood is, to see how competitive they can be as the longer the season is, and if it doesn't end up being a wash towards the end of the year in the final couple months.
I don't have them in the play-in tournament. I got them at 20, 21 wins. maybe max at 25 because the schedule is so tough, especially in the month of December.
With all the road trips.
But the Rockets, and I'd say the same thing for a young team like Detroit in the East. Making the play-in tournament this year could be fool's gold because I think the Rockets need another high lottery pick to go with this young core. I think a mid pick in next year's draft won't help them. You know, I think they need another top 4, top 5 lottery pick. That's my rationale. That's me. I think the players and coaches, they want to win. They want to do whatever they can because they play to win. They want to win as many games as possible, make the play-in tournament. You know, yeah, hey, that's their goal. I just think it'd be better for the team to get a 1, 2, 3, 4 pick in next year's draft. That's what I'm looking at there. That's my thought process on that because my goal, my mindset for the Rockets is championship level, not just first round playoff level. Because, you know, making the playoffs the first round year in, year out, that's just mediocre. The goal is to win a championship. So that's where I am. And we had to reschedule the conversation today to tomorrow to talk to Kelly Iko. Kelly Iko, I want to talk to him tomorrow, see if his answers changed. But in the summer, when we talked, he said the Rockets, I think, were 4 years away from championship level team. I think that's about right. 3 or 4 years away. So, and that's the goal. The goal is win a championship. The goal is not to go to not be in the first round and lose. Year in, year out. That, you know, that's not the answer. That's not what Tillman wants. That's whatever. You know, whatever. That's my take on that. I think Tamer Knight is getting ready. I'm going to put her on blast before I put her on camera because she's eating junk food or something in the studio, in the green room. But, you know, I'll make fun of Tamer because she's my mentee. I've known her for a long time. So, and I'm her elder. So what can she say to me? You know, so whatever. But Jason Tate breakout season. Breakout for what? Give me some numbers on that, Brandon Thomas. What, you know, he was all rookie last year. Breakout, you know, what does that entail? Give me some numbers on that one.
I would say breakout for Tate would be to be really consistent on offense and show that he can at least knock down the corner shot. I know he got a lot of comparisons to PJ Tucker, which really they're kind of really different players.
Yeah, he evolved. When he first started playing for the Rockets, many of us, I said it as well, he was PJ 2.0. But as the season progressed and more of his skill set showed, he's definitely more offensively skilled than PJ. No question. I think the corner three is one part of his game, but the perimeter three, around the perimeter, he needs to work on that and become a better three-point shooter. 15 to 17 and 9 boards for Jason Tate. Boy,
that would be real.
Hell, if he does that, hell yeah, that's a breakout year, no doubt. That's a breakout year, man. But that's on the high end, point-wise, because
you
got KPJ, Jalen, and Christian Wood. Yeah, those three are going to get the bulk of the points. That trio should combine for 55, 60 points among the three of them. And then you just fill in with Eric Gordon. If you see, you know, House still here, Jason Tate, KJ Martin, you know, the rest of the squad. Shingun is going to get you some points eventually. DJ Augustine will as well. But yes, Tamer Knight, coming to you right now. I hope you're ready to talk some Navy football. Are you ready to go ahead? Yes.
Yeah, I just saw this. I saw this flash across my timeline. Apparently, the NBA denied Andrew Wiggins' request.
I got that email and saw it on Twitter. Yeah,
for religious exemption from the COVID vaccine. So does that mean he can't play in
he can't play in home games? Correct, because and this is part of the release. The San Francisco Department of Health requires vaccination for all people 12 years and older in order to attend large indoor events. Wiggins had applied for a religious exemption from that rule, and the NBA denied that exemption. So until he gets vaccinated, Andrew Wiggins cannot play in Warriors home games.
Yeah, shoot. The season starts like around October, somewhere around 18, 20,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he has to do it now to be able to be ready for the start of the regular season.
But yep, the press release, the NBA has reviewed and denied Andrew Wiggins' request for religious exemption from the San Francisco Department of Public Health's order requiring COVID-19 vaccination for all participants aged 12 and older at large indoor events. And here's a key part of the statement from the league. Wiggins will not be able to play in Warriors home games until he fulfills the city's vaccination requirements. H-Town Metro Project, I see you. Yeah, it's all family here. Brendan Thomas is taking over the whole show, but yeah, I see you, no question. And you're right. This is a key point right here. I want to put up for everybody to see. Interior defense, it'll be a weakness. I'm still concerned with the Rockets' three-point shooting as a whole, especially efficiently three-point shooting. I mean, they're going to jack up a lot of threes, but shooting 34% or less as a team, that's not a good thing. So yeah, I'm defense interior is going to be a concern. Honestly, outside of Eric Gordon and ultimately Josh Christopher, and I guess a little bit Jason. I think Jason's better in the post. I'm concerned about the Rockets' perimeter defense. I want to see what Scoot does on the perimeter. I want to see what Jalen Green, how they defend the perimeter. They're young. Hey, you got to do it in the NBA. So that's the whole thing. Tamer Knight, get ready. I'm coming to you right now. You're fluffing with your hair and everything like that, all that kind of stuff. So let's go. And there she is. When I saw that orange shirt, I was like, oh, see, look at this. How do you have a mic on? See? Come on now, young lady. Thank you. Yeah, I do see, and we got bad Wi-Fi. So yeah. See, where are you at? Where are you, Tamer?
I'm at home. What do you mean bad Wi-Fi?
No, because your connection's kind of you're spotty. We hear you kind of spotty. That's all I'm saying.
Oh,
wait, let me see.
Oh, see, okay, now we lost you. Lost the video.
No, I went to check my Wi-Fi.
Okay, but yeah. Okay. When I saw your orange shirt, I was like, is she wearing a Tennessee shirt? Because it wasn't burnt orange, because I was really gonna be concerned if it was burnt orange. I would have cut you off. You would never got on the show if you were wearing Longhorn colors. That just wasn't gonna fly at all. But how you doing, Tamer? TV star, kinda.
I'm doing good. It's hard to be me out here.
Yeah, it's hard to be us out here too. Your thoughts? Give me some thoughts on. Well, let's talk about it. Did you hear what Andy and I were talking about with Andrew Wiggins? He is not going to get vaccinated so far, and because of that, and because of the policy in San Francisco's health department, he's not going to be able to play home games for the Warriors until he gets vaccinated. What are your thoughts on that?
Weird. I mean, so he gets to play away just because it's not in the state of California? Is that the...
Well, no, it's San Francisco. It's their health department. It's a city thing. It's their policy. So I think Sacramento, I think I guess look into as well. Sacramento, do they have a similar policy? I'm not sure. But for the Bay Area, San Francisco, Andrew Wiggins cannot play home games for the Warriors.
Does he get paid even though he's not playing in those home games?
That's a great question too. I haven't checked out my people, Marcus Thompson and Tim Kawakami, who cover the Warriors. I need to ask them. I'm not sure. I haven't seen if they put it out there on Twitter or not. That's a great question. I don't know.
I mean, it's not really a loss.
H-Town Metro Project. No stuff, man. Okay. I'm not going to, can you see the comment there? But she's not on here for that. She's on here for her intellect. Okay. So Let's keep it above board here. So whatever, But you can go to her YouTube channel for makeup tips and things like that, Right, Tamer? Right? Where'd you go? We can't hear you. See? Lost her again. See? H-Town Metro Project.
Okay,
See?
What's on? Okay, sorry. Someone called and then it just went black. My bad.
But yeah, go ahead, plug your channel.
At Tamer on YouTube, T Knight Sports on Instagram and Twitter.
Say YouTube again. Mention it again.
Tamer Knight. Tamer Knight, Knight. Subscribe, like, comment, share with a friend. Whoever you are.
Oh my goodness. I'm glad. But yeah.
Comment and subscribe.
There you go. Comment and subscribe to her channel. Yes, Tamer's. I'm glad she's on our show because she worked for the Olympics, Peacock Network this summer. She's got some other TV things in the pipeline too. So I'm just glad she took time to join us. So because she may not be able to do that in the near future, knock on wood for her. But Andy, your thoughts on Andrew Wiggins, his decision, and he won't be able to play home games for the Warriors.
Yeah, it's funny. We were mentioning it earlier about Go Coogs has submitted a FOIA request to see UH's agreement with the Big 12. I'm kind of interested to see what kind of excuse Andrew Wiggins tried to pull with the religious reasons for not being able to get vaccinated. But I think it's interesting. I think this is the point where it gets a lot. And not to get too much on the spectrum where, you got a lot of people that are anti-vax and whatnot. But I guess that's where you kind of get the argument where people probably get kind of worried, I guess, where it's kind of essentially if he wants to play, at least for the Warriors, he's going to have to take the vaccine. It's kind of like a mandate without officially making it. Exactly. And honestly, it'll be interesting to see how many more cities, especially in the state of California, kind of pick up rules like this. And even the Warriors, I think maybe this had something to do with it. It went around the rounds on ESPN today. I think First Take, I saw something about Stephen A. Smith saying that they should trade Andrew Wiggins. And you imagine if you have a player that can't play home games, I mean, he's not really adding much value to your team. You've got to kind of wonder how this affects teams from the business side. If you can't have a player to play for 41 of your games, you'd imagine you're going to have to make some type of move. Or in Andrew Wiggins' case, you got to take the vaccine to not miss 41 games. And Tamer said if the NBA doesn't give him those paychecks for those 41 games, that'll add another incentive to make him go get vaccinated.
And let me say what's up to Marty Marr, Alaluna, H-Town Metro Project. Already shouted you out. Appreciate y'all joining the Ian Marcus 39. Thank you for tuning us. You're new. Your name is new. I haven't seen you so far on our live streams here on the Houston Roundball Review channel. Much love to everybody joining us on Folks Talking Sports. It's become a basketball NBA focus because U of H football is playing Navy Saturday and whatever. U of H's favored by Andy. I think you said 19 points, right?
Correct. 19 and a half.
Tamer, do you think U of H will beat Navy by more than 19 points?
No.
Why not? Why not?
I know. First of all, I know the Cougars fans are going crazy because of their big win over Rice and their big win over Grambling. Let's just start there.
I hope not.
I see you Cougar Twitter, and I'm not impressed with the win over Grambling. I mean, that's kind of expected. I did pick them to lose to Rice, but only because I picked them to win over Texas Tech, and I was wrong. But
yes, you were. Yes,
I do see them winning over the Navy, but by more than 19 points, no.
Okay, well, Andy, give her this thought.
Solid squad.
No. Andy, tell her what you said about Navy. They've scored how many points in 2 games?
Yeah, combined they're 0-2 and they've only scored 10 points against.
Okay, this is that I saw in 2018.
Oh no, yeah, this is a whole different. This class is this class is not the same as previous classes that ran over U of H football.
They got against Marshall, they lost 49-7, and then against the Air Force, they lost 23-3. So they didn't even score a touchdown in that game. It was a field goal. So they've really struggled just to move the ball. I think when I was doing research for the game for the primer that we have for Apollo, I think combined they've only had like actually let me get the actual number, but I think they have like around just over 300 total yards of offense in those two games, which is absurd.
That is something, and that kind of indicates to me that their offensive line is not very good, because in order to have their offense be effective with the triple reads and everything like that, you got to be able to block.
Yeah,
and they're struggling like that. That means their running game is not very good. That means the block is not very good. And if you got to force them to pass the ball, they're going to struggle. Previous Navy team, their strength has been to run you over. They ran over U of H, plenty of times. But Navy has the third toughest schedule in the country based on opponent winning percentage from last year. Okay. You said Marshall and Air Force.
Correct.
Air Force has been the best football service academy team recently. So I'm good with that. Marshall, okay. I think Marshall lost to App State last time by a point.
Against Air Force, Navy had 68 total yards of offense for the game. Not rushing, not that total. 68.
Yeah, how many rushing? Pull up when you can. But
they had 36 rushing yards. They averaged 1.5 yards a play.
Yeah, that's
against Air Force.
That offensive line is garbage. Gotta be this awful to do that. I mean, that's not even 2 yards to carry. I mean, so that's horrible.
Yeah, against Marshall, they did much better. They actually had 337 rushing yards, so much better. But again, only.
Or maybe Air Force is just very good.
Yeah.
Maybe they are in their class of players, academy class is on the upswing, while Navy and Army and other service academies is on the downswing, because it seems to go in cycles for service academy football teams. But okay, Tamer.
Did you guys watch the Texans game last night?
No. I was doing a live stream talking Rockets, Tamer. How dare you not know that, Tamer? Shame. I was doing a Houston Roundball review live stream talking about the Houston Rockets.
Okay, well, I'm just saying the Carolina defense ran all over the Texans. That's all I have to say.
But I mean, the Texans they're 1-2. So, and they beat a Jacksonville team that may not be very good this year, but it's a win. So they got the one win I thought they'd get. So I thought they'd go like 1-16. But anyway,
1-16. Jesus, you have no hope.
They play Jacksonville twice, Chris. It'll be 2-15 at least.
Okay, 2-15.
No.
Okay.
I feel they showed a lot more pool. They looked much better, obviously, with Tyrod Taylor, which had me feeling
Davis
good
Mills,
that first half.
Yeah.
Against Will's prediction, and then
get swatted out of the air.
But Davis Mills is a rookie quarterback, struggling. I think the coaching is conservative. From what I'm reading, it's very conservative play calling, which is
And last night against the Panthers, it certainly was. Like the first half, they kept trying to run the ball, and any time that Davis Mills passed it, it was certainly like short screens and quick routes. And then the best drive they had all night was at the very end of the first half when they had to do a 2-minute offense, and Davis Mills was actually able to move the ball whenever they didn't have him playing ultra conservative, and they ended up that was the only touchdown they scored in the game. And then second half they expanded a little bit more, but same thing, a lot more of the conservative approach, which I think I saw from the timeline today. I think David Culley, the head coach for the Texans, kind of said how, the way they coached that game, they kind of called the game was a lot more conservative than. And honestly, they said that they were surprised at what Davis Mills was able to do, or at least he showed them that he can do more than what they allowed him to do against Carolina.
Maybe they were. he was so conservative because it was a short week. You know, Sunday to Thursday. You know, maybe that's part of it as well. But as a head coach, you got to know your talent, your players, what they can do, and how they. As a coach in any sport, you got to know, put your players in the best position to shine and maximize what they do well.
That was one of his first. He's only had a couple starts since he have joined the NFL because he was injured in his last team. But I'm just wondering, they had a little segment on the game last night, and I see here in the comments that people are not a fan of us talking about the Texans, but they talked about
it's folks talking sports, baby. This is not a Houston Roundball Review Let's Talk Rockets live stream, but we can do both. We're flexible. Yeah, we can do both.
But they had a segment on the show, the pregame show last night, about how every job that Tyrod Taylor has taken, he's lost it, rather it's because of an injury or he's not producing. And it's just like he had 1 year to be here in Houston, and I'm thinking they're gonna cut him at the end of the season, especially if he doesn't come back in the 4 to 5 weeks that they estimated. I don't see him being here next season either.
Well, I mean, Tyrod Taylor, he's snake bit. You know, injuries.
He's inconsistent.
I mean, especially the way.
Yeah. Some of the injuries too, yeah. Yep. Go ahead, Andy.
No, I was gonna say, especially his last 2 stops in Los Angeles and Cleveland. Like last year with the Chargers, he literally missed time because a team doctor punctured his lungs trying to give him I guess there was they were injecting him like a painkiller shot or something like that.
Yep.
And they punctured his lung. In goes in Justin Herbert and never sees the field again. And then in Cleveland, I think it was a concussion that had him out. They put in Baker Mayfield and he never lost a job. So just, like you said, Chris, snake bit.
That arena was full, though. I will say that Texas fans are very loyal, but aren't y'all like tired of rooting for your Texas team? Come on, like we watched them.
Well, I guess he's going to try to join us. Oh yeah, to answer that question right there, hey, isn't a baseball round this year? Is cannot stand baseball. Baseball could evaporate, and I wouldn't miss it. Don't care about baseball. Haven't cared since I was 10 years old. Do not care about baseball. The Astros are doing well this year. Good for them. Don't care. Whatever. Good luck to them. Don't care. I mean, you could put in a thimble the amount of interest I have in baseball and have room left over. I do not care about baseball at all. Will Gibson, you going to try to join us from the car?
Yes, sir.
He did.
Yes, sir.
Boy, look at this technology here, man. Man, oh, man.
Technology.
How you doing, Will? How's the Ohio State Buckeyes doing? Are they doing okay? Have the fans had a mutiny yet?
Oh, that's every week.
Why is that?
Fan is short for fanatic.
Well,
and some, it happens every week. It's weekly. It's a weekly thing here. But, get ready for Akron tomorrow night. 49-point favorite. Or Akron comes in as a 49-point underdog, that is. They were started at 53. It's down to 49. So, we'll see.
Will the Buckeyes cover?
It's probably not. No, that's a big number. I say that and watch them do it. But the backup quarterback is playing. Everybody's best friend. Kyle McCord, for right now, is probably be the starter. C.J. Stroud is emergency use only tomorrow. Give him a week to get his shoulder right for the Big Ten season. And it's a get right game. It's a learner game. It's the game that when I was in school, all of the young guys earned their letters on because you knew the starters were going to play probably a quarter, and then it's second team, third team, and the AYOs after that.
Well, you attended, was it Tennessee State? Was it Grambling?
Tennessee State Grambling. I did.
Okay, so you've seen Grambling up close.
I did.
What were your thoughts on that matchup about Grambling?
Grambling, they had a decent squad. The quarterback was decent. He threw I mean, he did well against Tennessee State, and I thought they did well. It was a 16-10 game that Grambling won. Tennessee State had some issues at quarterback themselves, but Grambling was decent. I understand he played Houston last week.
Yeah, and the quarterback was not decent against Houston.
Of course. Yeah.
So you see the difference in level of skill, Tennessee State to Houston, because Grambling was shut out, right, Andy? 0 points, right?
Correct.
And in the game, a little bit that I did see last Saturday, the announcers, Grambling was open, receivers were open. The quarterback just did not complete passes. You know, he really struggled. He had time to make throws and didn't get the job done. So, Will, when does college basketball practice start?
I believe there's some schools start next Friday.
Thank you, sir.
October 1st.
One of them.
That is correct. Does that include the Ohio State Buckeyes?
Yeah, they'll be starting up.
That's what I'm talking about. Next week is my
It's your Christmas.
sanctuary. That's when it all starts for me. Basketball, college basketball practice, pro practice. That's what I'm talking about. I'm looking forward to it. As I said last night on a solo live stream, you injected into my veins. Me and basketball. That is me. This other stuff, just fluff, just whatever. But that fluff, that's why I have people like Willy Gibson on and Yanez, Tamer Knight to talk about the other sports. I'll probably get Kim Davis back on to talk about the Astros. Kim knows sports. She covers baseball. Ain't my thing. I don't like it. I won't spend time on it, but I'll have somebody else talk about it to answer questions on it. I can do that. Don't have issue with that. Will.
Yes, sir.
I'm glad you're able to join us, man. You know,
I am too.
Yeah. You seem you weren't sure you'd make it, so I'm glad you were able to get it done.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah.
Tamer, I'm putting you on the spot, and it's not sexist, but I'm just curious. Trying to make a point. Did you watch any of the WNBA playoffs last night?
I did not. I was watching the Texans.
Andy, did you watch any of the WNBA playoffs last night?
I did not.
You know,
Will,
I was also watching the Texans.
did you watch any of the WNBA playoffs last night?
Do highlights count?
Compared to the other two, maybe it might. Yeah.
Playoffs are not easily accessible.
Tamer, they were on ESPN too.
They were
First round. What?
They weren't on my TV.
Well, you had the Texans on NBC.
Channel 2.
First round of the WNBA playoffs were on ESPN2. Chicago Sky, Dallas Wings. Chicago won by 17. Phoenix Mercury won over New York, 83-82. 1 point. A foul with the game tied at 82. A foul with 0.4 seconds left. Sent Manville High School alum, Notre Dame alum, Breonna Turner, to the line. She missed the first, made the second, and that was the margin of victory. So there you go there. So, yeah, I can get a little WNBA. I'd have much more to say about the WNBA if there was a Houston franchise in the WNBA, like the good old days when the comments were kicking butt and running through everybody in the WNBA the first 4 years of the league. But I digress. Well, are you going to have time to cover the Ohio State basketball team?
I'm looking to find time to do that. You know, football taking up majority of my time between now and February. It's a challenge, but I look to be able to do that.
Andy, did you hear what he said? Now through February. That implies that they're going to be in a championship game, Will.
College football playoff.
That's what you're saying?
Oh, I was talking to the Browns because the Browns.
Oh, yeah,
the Browns as well.
I was talking about the Super Bowl for the Cleveland Browns.
So that's right. Okay, well, the Browns are not going to the Super Bowl. Will, are you saying that?
I'll be in LA in February. I'll be there.
Okay, you'll be there, but will you be there to see the Browns?
Wait, the Browns?
Yeah. I didn't hear you. I'm sorry.
I said potential, lots of potential.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Potential just means it hasn't been done yet.
Listen, I was there for 1 and 31. I'm allowed to go to LA. Trust.
Oh yeah.
Trust.
You've been through some dark times covering a lot of losses. Yeah. All right. Here's the time of the segment as we wrap it up. Props to everybody tuning in. How can folks find you on social media platforms? Will Gibson, you up first.
Appreciate it. You can find me Will Gibson 7 on Twitter, Instagram, Will Knows on Facebook, the Will Knows Podcast, and WTGsports.com.
And Tamer, how can folks find you?
You guys can find me most importantly on YouTube at Tamer Knight. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And on Twitter and Instagram at TKnightSports. www.thenightagenda.com.
Andy, you next.
Yeah, they can follow me on Twitter at Yanez_5. Also, for anyone that might live in the Friendswood, Pearline area, cover community impact newspaper covering the community beat. So city, education, stuff like that, and those communities. And also, like Kris has said throughout the show, Pawd, Slama, Jama for UH Athletics. I mean, yeah, like you said, Kris, we're like exactly a week away from start of practice for both men's and women's basketball. So, like you said, actually, I like October is my favorite time of the year too. So,
yep, and I'm waiting on this. I'm trying to get something saved here. See if I can do it. See if I get that right. U of H women's basketball got a commitment from a high school senior outside of the state of Texas.
wow.
I'm waiting. I know what it is. I know her name. I'm waiting for her to put it out there. Younger generation, Tamer, Andy, y'all generation. She's trying to, what I've been told, trying to make a production of her announcement. Make a big thing about it, put it on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter.
Good.
She's waiting to get everything done right before she can put it out there, make it official.
I like it. I like people that do a little extra.
See, you would. See, that's a generational thing right there. No. But okay.
You'd imagine you only commit once,
right?
And if everything goes well, so why not make a production out of it?
That's boring.
Tamer, once again, how can folks? Because you got a fan apparently in H-Time Metro Project. How can what's your YouTube channel?
It's Tamer Knight, and I talk sports. I talk being a sports reporter, and you just get an insight of my life. I can't really explain it. You just kind of have to be there. So like, comment, and subscribe. Again, it's Tamer Knight on YouTube, and I look forward to seeing y'all there.
So
Brandon Thomas, appreciate the shout out too.
Yeah, and it's H-Time Metro Project. If you want to know about some makeup tips, you can get that too as well. So if you're into that, also go to Tamer's channel. But Tamer's also, she hasn't mentioned it. She's kind of being modest. She's a personal trainer, right?
Yeah, and I'm good. I could talk HBU basketball, women's basketball here.
Can you mention that? Can you mention that yet?
Yeah, it's official. I'm going to be the play-by-play announcer for HBU women's basketball for the 2021-2022 season. So if you're a Husky fan, also catch me there.
See, viewers, fans, I follow folks who do things, who are productive. So we get things going, get things done. That's what it's all about, trying to help each other out. Because I'm all wanting people to eat, get their foot in the door, get their slice of the pie, put their content out there, promote them as well. That's a part of what the Houston Roundball Review is about. That's one reason for doing these folks talking sports shows, is to get other folks a platform to share their insight with the viewers, not just listen to me talk about stuff. So appreciate Andy agreeing to be a part of the group. Appreciate Tamer for being part of the group as a guest. Will, I guess, had to close out from his ride, but Will is, in Ohio, So I'm all about that. And James Mueller is a part of this. James had to take care of some business this evening, so he's unable to join us. But that's what Folks Talking Sports is about. I'm also sponsoring AD Moore's The Adamax Corner. He talks Texans. He covers the Texans. That's also part of the Houston Roundball Review umbrella. So putting it out there, Houston Roundball Review is credentialed to cover the NFL now, the NBA, and the NCAA. So very proud of that. So let me say it again. Houston Roundball Review is, the Texans have approved Houston Roundball Review. That's the NFL.
Wow.
So yes.
Big.
So
Especially
NBA as well.
there.
Yes. So I'm very honored to be part of that as well. And the NCAA, of course. So appreciate y'all. Unless he has to reschedule again, my tune in to the channel tomorrow. I'm recording my interview conversation with Kelly Eco, the Rockets beat writer for The Athletic. We'll talk about some of these things we discussed here on this episode of Folks Talking Sports about the Rockets. Tomorrow's conversation is about the Rockets. You know, so far, what he's seen, heard, training camp coming up, projections for the season, rosters, lineups, things like that. I love how Kelly, another youngster, refers to me as an OG.
He's right.
So I appreciate that as well. Andy, Yanez, Tamer Knight, y'all take care. See y'all. Tamer, are you good for next week as well? Or are you going to be on TV or anything next Friday?
Just text me.
Okay. Everybody, y'all take care. Brandon Thomas, everybody who tuned in. I got the questions, Brandon, got the comments. Will, I'm going to bring you back on so we can close it off for everybody. I got the comments, Brandon, on the YouTube channel. Thank you for sending them. I'm going to try to touch on some of them, maybe not all of them, with Keiko. But yes, thank y'all very much to H-Town Metro Project. Everybody who tuned in, if I can scroll up real quick, get everybody. I don't want to miss somebody here. Alan Luna, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for the comments. Marty Marr, as always, thank you for tuning in. Ian Marcus 39, thank you for tuning in. Stick with us. Stick with Folks Talking Sports as we do. We're going to talk sports, not just the Rockets, but sports on this show on the Houston Roundball Review channel. Show your support for this channel. Like us, subscribe to the channel, contribute via the super chat, super stickers. There's also an option, a thanks button on each video on the channel where you can contribute that way to each video that you like. You can social support that way. The support helps us continue doing what we're doing. Thank you for tuning in. Will, be safe, man. Take care. And see you next Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern on Folks Talking Sports. Peace.
Peace.